Hey guys, it's Francina Simone with writing tips on how to improve your writing. So today I'm starting a new series on how to write authentic characters. And this series will have 3 videos, and those 3 videos will be 1, connecting with your character, 2, the human condition, which is vital to making authentic characters, and 3, how to write backstory. So today the topic is how to connect to your character. Connecting to your character means knowing who they are. So you can accomplish connecting to your character in 2 major steps. The first one is the blind date. Now it's not really a blind date because let's be honest, if you were to actually show up to one, you'd be the only person there. So what I mean by blind date is, what is your first impression of this character? Think of all of your first impressions and write them down if you have to, or really catalog them. Are they funny, quirky, angry, mean, moody? Do they not give fucks about anything? Like, really think about your first impression. Now, I really emphasize on this because generally that's what inspired you about this character. And that's probably what inspired you to write this character versus anybody else in the whole world. Or maybe it's something that you really connect to this character with. My characters are usually pretty fucking weird, but so am I. Or I'm really inspired by a specific trope that I want to delve into. Because side note, tropes aren't bad. Tropes written poorly are bad. But if you write a trope with an authentic character or an authentic plot or an authentic world, nobody cares about the trope. Let's be honest, there's only so many that you can write, and they've all been written before, so the key is to be authentic about it. So whatever first impressions inspired you, damn, it's hailing outside. It is literally raining rocks right now. I thought winter was over. So whatever inspired you about this character, write it down, get it in your head, and get it thick. Because that leads us to step number 2. Now this is the big one, and this is the one I'm going to talk about the most, which is ask why. If you've already written a good deal of your book, or you already know the plot, why is it that they do those things? Why do they go down those steps? Why is this happening to them? Why not someone else? Why are you starting at this specific point in their life? Why? Ask why about every little thing. Because there is always a reason, and that reason is what makes it authentic. It's having those multiple reasons build up and build up and build up that makes life authentic. Because think about it, in our everyday life, every decision that we make has a consequence, whether it's good, bad, or benign. And it's those consequences that build up to experiences that make us who we are. So your character needs those types of consequences that add up to experiences, so then we know who they are as a real person on the inside. Did you see my nails? Oh my god, I bite my nails. You want a real experience? My mother told me that only self-conscious people bite their nails, and I bite my nails when I'm either writing, doing math, or reading, because I'm thinking, I'm using my brain cells a lot, and so my body wants to do something to get some of the jitters out, I guess. And so I bite my nails. So way to go, Mom. You made me self-conscious about biting my nails, even though I'm not self-conscious to begin with. That's a life experience. But seriously, I'll use a real example of something that's actually kind of tropey. So in my first book, The Keeper's Vow, one of my main characters, Tristan, he's a straight up moody boy. You know the trope of the moody guy with the chip on his shoulder, and he kind of treats everybody not terrible, but he puts them at a distance, which can sometimes lead them to be put off by them. And even though they want to get to know that character, that's Tristan to a T. However, that's not really him either. That's him if you just want to describe him in a very vague sense. I was inspired by that trope to write a guy like that because it made a lot of sense to my story. However, I had to ask myself, why was he that way? And it couldn't just be some blanket, oh, he had a terrible past. I mean, even though he does, but everybody has a fucked up past one way or another. I mean, there are very few people out there who I honestly think can say that they weren't fucked up by their parents, by an experience, or by the world in general. Taking that into consideration, I asked myself why. And it turned out he just wanted a family. He wanted to be a part of people who cared about him and who took care of him. However, the same people that he wanted to do that were the people who actually pushed him away to start with, either by not acknowledging his existence or by not taking care of him when he really needed it when he was a kid. And so that creates a very independent, moody type of boy. And as people try to push themselves into his life, he has to either learn to break down those barriers or to fight against those people. And the consequences ensue. This is a key point to writing an authentic character, and it builds into why. After you've asked yourself why, like I did with Tristan, and you find out the reason, now you have to allow your character to have natural consequences based on every decision that they made, based on that one experience that they had that caused them to be a specific way. For instance, I said Tristan was moody. That means that he kind of tends to be a jackass, and whether or not he speaks the truth, which often he is the truth teller in my story, he can still be hurtful, and that causes strain with him and other people in the story. And he either has to learn how to be better at being a better person, and he either has to learn how to forgive, or keep being an asshole. It's his choice, but he has to live with the consequences that follow. Your characters have to live with the consequences, and you can't pull punches because you don't want something specific to happen or you don't like where the story is going. When you pull punches, you make tropes that are inauthentic, and people will look at your story and think it's a cliche. And that's the main thing that you want to stay away from. So let's recap. First, go on a blind date with your character and think of your first impressions of their strengths, their weaknesses, who they are and in general. What inspired you to write this character? And then dive deep into their life and ask why. Ask why about every situation that you possibly can to really get to know them and to get to know the experiences that made them who they are. Now, you don't have to write and include all those experiences in your story because they'll have a way of naturally creeping up into the story, giving it that depth that you need. But what you must and what you must always do in your stories is make sure that the consequences are there and the consequences are truthful. Now take that and go look at your story and look at your characters and ask yourself, are they authentic? Did I connect to them? Do I know everything that there is to know about this person? Can I make up a new situation and know how they would handle it in this moment as they are now? If you can say yes, that is great because you're on your way to making a really authentic person that people can connect with even if they don't agree or like the character. When you have authentic characters, it won't matter if people don't like your characters because they will still be able to connect with them. They will still hang in on the ride because everything that character does is real and it will drive them crazy, or they'll love it, but at the end of the day, they will walk away from your story thinking, oh my God, that was amazing. And my last final step, even though I said there are only two, I'm gonna actually throw in this third one because it's the truth. Make sure you do step 1 and step 2 with all of your characters. I made sure that I knew my first impressions and all of the why and the experiences of every other character in my book, just so I knew how they would react to every situation that they were put in on the page. Now the next video is going to be about the human condition, and you don't want to miss that because that is a huge part of writing authentic characters. So I'll catch you next time. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel or follow me on either Instagram, Twitter, or on Facebook, or you can check out my blog and get some other writing tips. And if you have any questions or suggestions on videos I should make in the future, go ahead and tweet me at Francina Simone. TTYL, that's all for now.